Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. To start my presentation, Chloe, come over here.
Yeah.
Please.
Come again.
And can you find me Gwangju city?
Yeah.
Oh?
Near here.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gwangju is my hometown and the biggest city in Jeolla province. Chloe,
Yeah.
can you find where is Jeolla province? Yeah, right. Jeolla province consists of Jeolla Bukdo and Jeolla Namdo. Okay, thank you. Can you tell me which part of Korea is Jeolla province is? Which part, western or eastern?
Western.
Yeah, this is western and this is eastern. So today I'm gonna talk about stereotypes of people who live in Jeolla province. Jeolla province is my hometown, and first I will explain Korean modern history briefly because it will help you to understand, and I will tell you two stereotypes. After Korean War in 1953, South Korea was totally destroyed. Every infrastructure was gone and people suffered from poverty. In 1961, Park Chung-hee led a military coup d'etat and became a president. He enforced his own economic development plan, and which was mainly about constructing infrastructures like highways or factories or harbors. Most of these infrastructures are constructed on eastern part of Korea, so people who live in western part felt relative poverty, and anyway, his plan was success and Korea developed so quickly, so he could keep his dictatorship for 17 years. After his death, people expected a democratic government, but Park Chung-hee's successor Jeon Do-han led a military coup d'etat again. People were so angry, and the people who live in Gwangju, which is my hometown, Gwangju city, started a demonstration. But the military deployed heavily armed troops in Gwangju and they shot the demonstrators, and people died. But the military controlled the media, so they announced that communists living in Jeolla province started a violence riot, which is not true. So I've told you briefly about Korean modern history because to help you understand the cause of these stereotypes, and I will tell you two stereotypes of people who live in Jeolla province. First, they curse a lot. Do you know curse? Curse is like bad and offensive word, like F word. Yeah. When I was 19 years old, I left my hometown Gwangju to go to university in Seoul, and I met a lot of people from different cities. I told them my hometown was Gwangju, and I was asked so many times, "Are you really good at cursing?" I heard all people in Jeolla province use bad language every moment. I was quite surprised because the curses I heard at my first year in my university located in Seoul were much more than I had heard in my hometown for 19 years. So I started to find a cause, and I realized the Korean movies are the problem. Most gangsters and lower class people are described as being from Jeolla province and using a lot of curse. As I told you before, Jeolla province was undeveloped and they had weaker power than any other province. So that's why they describe the gangsters or lower class people using lots of curse or being from Jeolla province. And that makes people to have these stereotypes. Second stereotype is they are all communist. Last year, we have a presidential election, and this is vote rate. Yellow represents the Liberal Party, and red represents the Conservative Party. As you can see, in Jeolla province, the vote rate for Liberal Party is extremely high, like 90% or 86%. Yesterday we talked about the Liberal Party, and they represent the left. And sometimes the left means communist in Korea because they care about community so much. Anyway, I went to the pub after the election with my friends, and I heard some really shocking words from a group of old men. They say, "Go to hell, Jeolla province." They look at the vote rate. They are all communists. They have to be eliminated from the society. But the vote rate is not because we are communists, but because we had a complicated history. People in Jeolla province, like I said before, people in Jeolla province sacrificed their lives to democracy, but they were misreported as a communist, and they didn't get enough recognition. But conservative parties doesn't care about this problem as the Liberal Party does. So we vote for Liberal Party. Okay. I summarized Korean modern history related to these stereotypes, and I told you two stereotypes. First, they are really good at cursing, which is the concept caused by Korean movies and which is not true. And second, they are all communist, which is the concept caused by the misreported information by the military, and which is also not true. Even if a small country like Korea, each region has their own characteristics. And I believe this diversity makes the nation stronger and more energetic. So embrace the diversity without stereotype. Then the world will get stronger and more energetic like a tree. Thank you.